The Senate avoids a debt disaster by voting to delay borrowing, and in Oslo tonight, the Nobel Peace Prize is given out to two journalists. From MDM News, this is the Merlino Report. Now reporting, Matthew Merlino. Good evening. The Senate has dodged a U.S. debt disaster, voting to extend the government's borrowing authority into December and temporarily avert an unprecedented federal default that experts warned would devastate the economy and harm millions of Americans. The party-line Democratic vote of 50 to 48 in support of the bill to raise the government's debt ceiling by nearly half $500 billion brought instant relief in Washington and far beyond. However, it provides only a reprieve. Assuming the House goes along with the Senate's Thursday night vote, which it will, Republican and Democratic lawmakers will still have to tackle their deep differences on the issue once more before year-end. Journalist Maria Ressa of the Philippines and Dmitry Muratov of Russia won the 2021 Nobel Peace Prize on Friday for their fight for freedom of expression in countries where reporters have faced persistent attacks, harassment, and even murder. Ressa and Muratov were honored for their courageous work, but also were considered representatives of all journalists who stand up for this ideal in a world in which democracy and freedom of the press face increasingly adverse conditions, said Berit Reiss-Andersen, chair of the Norwegian Nobel Committee. Texas on Friday asked a federal appeals court to swiftly reinstate the most restrictive abortion law in the U.S., which until this week had banned most abortions in the state since early September. The request puts the Texas law known as Senate Bill 8 back before the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, which previously allowed the restrictions to move forward. Nearly all Americans agree that the rampant spread of misinformation is a problem. Most also think social media companies and the people that use them bear a good deal of blame for the situation. But few are very concerned that they themselves might be responsible, according to a new poll from the Pearson Institute and the Associated Press Nork Center for Public Affairs Research. In other news, a flood-hit riverside restaurant in Thailand has become an unlikely dining hotspot after fun-loving foodies began flocking to its waterlogged deck to eat amid the lapping tide. In a relationship as fraught as America's and China's, just an agreement that talks were productive was a sign of progress. 9 months into Joe Biden's presidency, the two sides finally appear to be trying to ease tensions that date from the Trump administration, though U.S. complaints about Chinese policies on trade, Taiwan, and other issues are little diminished. A man suspected of robbing a Southern California bank was arrested when he returned to try and rob the same branch the following day, police said, and U.S. and Pakistani officials held difficult talks on Friday in Pakistan's capital amid a worsening relationship between Washington and Islamabad as each searches for a way forward in a Taliban-ruled Afghanistan. That's the Merlino Report for this Friday. I'm Matthew Merlino, and I'll see you Monday night.